Prabha, you start, please.
Yes. I'll just say the IBS only, no, because that was what
Yeah.
welcome students to another webinar in Institutional Spotlight. And today the institution that is on Spotlight is IBS. And we have with us an eminent panel, starting with Dr. Pritee Saxena, Senior Director and Campus Head, ICFAI Business School, Mumbai. She is a corporate executive turned accomplished admission and institution leader and has been in the corporate sector for 17 years in senior management positions. She has been with IBS Mumbai for over 2 decades. And she joined as a faculty in area of marketing and has played important roles as head of student activities, management development programs, director placements, and corporate relations. She currently heads IBS Mumbai as senior director and campus head. And then we have Dr. Vivek Ranga, who is the director at ICFAI Business School-the, Dr. Ranga is a postgraduate, he's a graduate in physics with post-graduation in management, and he has completed PhD in advertising effectiveness and STPM from IIM Ahmedabad. He has more than 21 years of teaching experience as marketing faculty and also is visiting faculty at University of Paderborn, Germany, National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, and IIIC Ahmedabad. Next, we have Professor S.C. Sharma, Senior Director, IBS Gurgaon. He has studied at University of Delhi, Institute of Economic Growth, Bath University, England, and Pennsylvania University, USA. He has more than 21 years of teaching experience as marketing faculty and also is visiting faculty at University of Paderborn. Professor S.C. Sharma belongs to the Indian Economic Services batch of 1971. Next, we have Professor economist studying highly.
Prabha.
Yeah.
I think you there is a your voice is coming twice, so one of the speakers you must switch off, please. Prabha, you got that?
I don't know why there is a time.
Okay, now it's coming. Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Now it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. I will just introduce Professor S.C. Sharma again.
Yeah.
Professor S.C. Sharma, Senior Director, IBS Gurgaon, studied at the University of Delhi Institute of Economic Growth, Bath University, England, and Pennsylvania University, USA. He belongs to the Indian Economic Services batch of 1971 and is an economist having highly versatile experience of over 45 years in economics, financial analysis, management, and teaching. Welcome on board, sir. We are honored to have you today. I would like to hand over to Mr. Maheshwar Peri, our CEO, who would ask the question from the panel.
Thank you, Dr. Ranga, Dr. Saxena, and Dr. Sharma for joining in today. I'll start by basically asking, and any one of you can take this question, sir. But first, for the student community, can you just give an overview of the IBS, the institutions called IBS, because there are multiple institutions all over the place, and possibly the only private management university that we have in the country, in a sense. It's NAAC accredited A++ kind of a thing, which is a very good rating that you got. Your ACSP accredited. So can you first give an overview of IBS institutions, please?
So, Dr. Saxena and Dr. Vivek Ranga, could I take this question with
Yes, sir. You please take it, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, please take it, sir.
Okay. Well, IBS stands for certain values. It is a serious institution. It is a sincere institution. It has been in existence for over 25 years. It was set up by a man, a personality, Professor N.J. Yashashvi, who never stood second in any examination that he took. He was a topper chartered accountant, topper cost accountant, topper in commerce honors from Andhra University. He had a vision. His vision was that management education should be made accessible to as many students of this country as possible. And it should not be restricted to only the rich and fabulous, the urbane kind of people. So the result is that today we have 11 universities as a group. I'm talking now, ICFAI group, 11 universities and 9 IBS campuses, which are giving either MBA program or they are giving postgraduate program in management. In all, this group has produced 62,000 students who are today managing middle to senior level positions in most prestigious, some of the most prestigious companies or the corporate or the businesses or the conglomerates of the country and even abroad. So the group has made a huge contribution towards management education. It is perceived as a passport for a common Indian, I will say, to reach the top of the ladder in the area of management. To begin with, I would like to restrict myself to the broad things. What I have said is, the institution is having an all India character. This is very important. The institution has an all India character. It has an all India reach. It represents diversity. It connects extremely well with the industry. I mean, as we go on, we will develop the kind of interventions we have developed to ensure that we work in close unison with industry, both from the demand side and the supply side. So the result is that we have a very high order of credibility in the eyes of the businesses. They know that the students produced or trained or tutored or mentored or taught at IBS institutions are extremely relevant. They are highly versatile. They are experts in the field of problem solving. They are good at communication. They are good at computation. They have developed perspectives. Their understanding is not anecdotal. Their understanding is basically encompassing several subjects. They are multidisciplinary in their outlook. So all these values are represented by IBS.
Perfect.
I think I will stop with this for the time being, and we will detail out the salient features and interventions that we undertake to transform even an average student into a highly employable product, into a product which will meet the expectations of industry, which will meet the expectations of the family, which will meet the current expectations and even the futuristic expectations of the students. So I am stopping myself at this stage and would love to come back as soon as the discussion moves forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Ranga, this is for you, sir. Last year, we had IBS getting into the AACSB accreditation.
Yeah.
Increasingly, we know that management education is not confined to a particular location, but the student becomes a global citizen very soon. Over a period of time, they would aspire to be working anyway, and being a global citizen any which ways, right?
Yeah.
And the AACSB accreditation puts you on par with a lot of other global institutions, so that there is an equivalence that is created automatically, because you are a part of an international body which accredited you. And AACSB in India, only 23 institutions as of now, last count, are accredited by AACSB. So can you tell the student the importance of the AACSB accreditation and how it puts them on par or equivalence to be working anywhere globally, and how it enables them, helps them, and handholds them through the process, please?
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much for having me in this forum. And it's really interesting to be having an opportunity to interact with students at a very critical time. I feel, these are the last 10 overs, like in cricket, these are the most crucial one. And the kind of decision making which you would do at this point in time would be impacting the students for next 35, 40 years. Coming back to the question of AACSB accreditation, let me tell you, last few years, I think the global connect aspect of a business world or an education for an education institute has been very high, last 3 years. In fact, it was much earlier also there, but I think COVID has made us a lot of connected. And I think this has become very important while this accreditation we had been looking as an institution, because what we are today looking at India, definitely, I'm sure you would be hearing this in media and a lot of things that, Indian economy is going strong. We are a very strongly emerging markets in terms of globally, in terms of stability and all. I think AACSB, this kind of global accreditation helps us in terms of putting all the institution across globe, whether you're talking about Harvard Business Schools, you're talking about Wharton School, Kellogg's, or many other schools across US, Europe, Asia, and India, wherein you are being evaluated on three things. One is your teaching styles in terms of how the teaching has been done, in terms of the faculty pool. And I think that is the kind of investment when Professor Sharma was talking about. We're a 26-year institution. So these accreditation has looked very closely in terms of our teaching capabilities, the faculty which comes not only in teaching, plus also the kind of research background they have. And I'm sure you would have been informed a lot about our method of case studies. I think that has really been a game changer in terms of us getting this accreditation, because we are not only teaching in terms of what is happening in the industry, but I think our faculties are very highly involved in terms of the doing contemporary research, and case contribution has been one area. So that is one pivot in terms of when we look at this accreditation. Second is about the industry alignment. It's not only with the industry alignment working nationally today, but I think you would have heard that the kind of international placement that has been happening, and plus our interaction with these bodies in terms of international accreditation of AACSB is the kind of alumni we are doing. I often say to my students that you have 62,000 reasons to join IBS. These are the 62,000 alumni who are produced. So I think when you look at the value chains in terms of these 3 points, this accreditation has put us on par with the best of the global schools. Still, when we look at these accreditations are very important when you look at India. IIM Ahmedabad and Calcutta, 50, 60-year-old institution, whereas we're talking about a management education which is more than 100 years across the globe. So I think this accreditation puts us par with the best of the schools across the globe. I think while we go for international employment, while our students go for higher studies, this kind of accreditation has really helped us, and that is what we have been still striving upon. I think one of the very common fabric at IBS is we're constantly innovating in terms of academic delivery. And I think the last 2-3 years, the way we have worked with industry, the way we have brought the changes in the classroom in terms of the way faculties are delivering, I think this delta is highest. So that is what the AACSB accreditation has helped us. And I'm sure it will help us more in terms of also collaborating the schools. We are also looking at a way forward is where our students can go abroad, do some part-time courses there. The faculties, we do a cross teaching. So that this is the way that equivalence is established, and it clears a very good trajectory to move further. So that's my take on AACSB accreditation. Yeah.
And sir, this year also, just about a couple of months back, IBS University got the NAC A+ rating, right?
Right.
Which essentially puts it on par with very, very few universities in the country to have that A+ kind of a rating. So can you tell the student what the NAC rating means and the kind of parameters that you were judged on that made you get that kind of a...
Yeah, I think when we're talking about AACSB accreditation, that was much more for international equivalents, whereas we are looking at NIRF and NAC accreditation. These are more for the Indian rankings. Now, all the university, whether you talk about Delhi University, Mumbai University, Madras University, all this NAC is a framework which actually rates a lot of universities in terms of their, again, capability in terms of academics, in terms of the teaching, who are the faculties who are getting in terms of in the institutions. So the qualifications, the experience, the way they have been able to teach in terms of innovation. There are a variety of parameters, and of course research is one parameter in which we are looked at. And we are, I think, our philosophy and what Professor we had, we've been doing a lot of investment in our faculty training. So our faculty at all the campuses will find they're very actively in publications of research articles. They're working very closely. So I think that is something which has helped us to get, in fact, our PhD program at Hyderabad, location has produced many faculties. Today, many of the faculties are even working at Indian Institutes of Management and a variety of I've seen interactive with a student who has a PhD at Hyderabad, and he's working at IIM Ahmedabad. He's a professor there. So I think that is the kind of intellectual capital as NAC evaluates us. We're also looking at in terms of the facilities at the institution, in terms of the teaching facilities we have. So again, NAC accreditation has happened for that. And the thing is the internships, the kind of activities. So holistically, when you're looking at NAC framework, this helps us. And because of this NAC accreditation, we see an off campus of IBS Hyderabad is at IBS Bangalore. Now the NAC accreditation gives you that provision to expand beyond your territorial locations, and that is what NAC accreditation help. We'll again move further, and it's always an exercise which enables us upgradation in terms of the way whatever we are doing. And the most important towards currency at management education is the innovation. I think NAC and these kind of accreditation are always helping us to innovate in terms of bringing the better learning experience to the students. And I think that is the value most today. I think that today the value is coming from the delivery and the how much the education is relevant for as an outcome. That is important. So I hope
Yeah. So just to put things in perspective, students, what AACSB and NAC do is they assess, evaluate, audit an institution on some set parameters to understand the standard and quality of education delivery and outcomes. And both these, the AACSB puts you on par with a global student. So a student who studied in Wharton would be on par with IBS because both are AACSB accredited. And similarly, when you deal with NAC, there are very, very few universities which have a A+ accreditation. The moment you get a A+ kind of an accreditation, which is one step below the best that you can think of, the institution gets a greater autonomy to experiment, innovate, and be a bit more enterprising. Because of which, like for example, no B school can start in an off campus, but now IBS Hyderabad can start at 2 off campuses because A+ empowers the institution to start 2 off campuses. One is Bangalore and 2 they will decide obviously. And so basically they've been given the freedom and autonomy because they were judged and
He's muted.
oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
can you hear me? So that's what has happened to IBS Hyderabad. Dr. Pritee Saxena, I just want to come to you on this now. You are based out of Bombay, and obviously for a management education management school, the location of the school also is very, very important, right? Because you get faster internships, you get better corporate interaction, you get better corporate placements. So many things happen if you are in the right location for management education, right? So can you just expand for me the kind of advantages that a location has when the student is looking for a B school? What kind of an importance does location play in the choice of the B school?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. See, location, and especially, if I have to talk about the metros and Mumbai per se, the students definitely have this kind of a perception that, metros are the ones which are going to be the great job markets. And Mumbai has always been perceived as the financial capital of India, which I think now slowly all this is getting distributed across India. IBS has picked up locations very, very judiciously. If you look at the 9 campuses that we have, starting with Hyderabad, Mumbai, Gurgaon, Pune, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Kolkata, Jaipur, and Dehradun. So these locations having IBS campuses, they connect you to the entire nation. And yes, being in a metro, you have a lot that you can do in terms of movement, in terms of interacting with people. So I feel that a state like or a place like Mumbai is a university by itself. You learn so much in terms of commuting. You learn so much when you are putting up with people, especially when you come and stay in PG accommodations or you stay away from home. The kind of exposure that these places give you, especially when you move away from your homes, I think you develop skills to work in a corporate. You develop skills to work in teams. You develop skills to accommodate cultures of other people and other communities. And I think this is what is very, very important today when we start looking at our students as global students who are dealing with clients who are based in any part of the world. So they could be working for a consulting company where the clients are based in UK, Australia, US. It could be the Middle East, or it could be the Asian countries. And the kind of exposure that you get, when you are in cities and places of this kind, where I've talked about this thing, it prepares you to deal with all sorts of people and prepares you to work in teams. So I will share more details about the kind of companies that you have access to, the kind of startups, especially Mumbai being a startup hub, and Mumbai, we are located in IBS Powai, where we just opposite to IIT. And all the IITians, I will say at least 25% of them do give it a try to getting into a startup. So it has become, more of a startup hub, and people, at least 600 new startups come up every year in a city like Mumbai.
Dr. Sharma, this is for you, sir, because we talked of location, but we all now know that internships are playing a huge role in terms of even making a placement at the end of it, like the internships leading to a pre-placement offer and so on and so forth, right? And obviously, the location also plays a huge role in terms of getting the internship also in a certain sense. So would you mind telling the student of the kind of internship pre-placement offers and leading to placements, not just confining yourself to Delhi, Gurgaon rather, but for the IBS institutions completely, sir?
Yeah, surely. Summer internship constitute a very significant part of the 2-year postgraduate program in management. I want the students to appreciate it, that IBS is the only institution in the country which provides summer internship for a period of 14 weeks. As against in most of the institutions, I have seen 8 weeks or 9 weeks or 10 weeks, but here it is very important. Secondly, there are approximately, I think, around 300 companies to which our students go for summer internship. They are all from different sectors like consultancy, like banking and IT and tourism and hospitality, etc., etc. So hardly there is any sector which is not open to the students. Now, summer internship is a period where the student has the ability and the opportunity to connect what he has learned in the classes to what goes on in the corporate world. So we have a faculty mentor who remains mentor with the student for the entire period of 14 weeks and trains him, guides him at every step and stage. And side by side, we have the company guide. We monitor this program very carefully in the sense that a progress report is sent, and the students know it very well that if they are able to perform, they will earn PPO. I will say approximately 30 to 40% of the IBS students earn PPO during the summer internship. That becomes the stepping stone for their placement. Of course, it requires continuous monitoring, continuous evaluation. Then side by side, we bring the mentors to our campus to educate the students even before the mentoring and even before the summer internship starts. So summer internship becomes valuable because it is monitored item-wise, step-wise, very closely throughout the 14-year period, and students are made to compete with each other. In order to ensure that they compete and this sense of proving their worth, both in the eyes of the industry and the academicians, is established, several rounds of competitions are held, and best of these students are given all kind of acknowledgement and recognition by the industry. So that helps in earning PPO. It basically means you have to create a climate of competition, and the student must excel and accept the challenge.
So, thank you so much, Dr. Sharma. To the students, I'll just tell you how you go about selecting a B school. This is very important for all of you. Just note down, please. The first thing that you need to look at is the international accreditation. Here is IBS having an ACSB accreditation. Then you have a national accreditation, which is NAC rated A+. Then you come to the kind of location that you have, and IBS is possibly very good locations. Then we talk of internships or placement. We did speak about it. Internships we spoke. Placements, I'll come back to it later. But before that, one of the very important things is the networking. The reason why some of the institutions are very, very pedigreed and legacy and carry a legacy is because the students are found all over the world, all over the country. Whichever company you go, you will find an alumni of that institution working there at a senior level. So, Dr. Vivek Ranga, I would want you to tell the students of the kind of alumni network that IBS offers, because again, students understand this. When you go through an institution, you're not just going through that batch of students, which is about 300, 600, 800, whatever that numbers are, or 60. You're going through the earlier batches also, which will help you, handhold you, and wherever you go, they'll be around. And the alumni network meetings will also ensure that you keep reaping the benefits of the combined family of that institution.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, Dr. Ranga, if you don't mind telling the students of the 62,000 alumni that you have, and how they placed, and the kind of meetups that you have, and the way they help each other move ahead. So if you can take that question, please.
I think
And
that,
Prabha, one moment, sir.
yeah.
Prabha, in the meanwhile, can you ask this? We can ask the students to start asking questions. This would be my last question.
Students,
Yeah,
for
Dr.
all
Ranga.
questions, please use the raise your hands button so that we know who wants to ask questions, and we'll just unmute.
Yeah, Dr. Ranga, over to you, sir.
Yeah, I think Alumni Connect is a very strong feature. I work with the institute I'm working with the institute for last 21 years. I remember Professor Yashasvi used to mention that today a student in your class is going to be an alumni tomorrow. I think that was the kind of vision we had. And we have now 62,000 alumni, all passed across all the batches. Now that becomes so important for today for us, like whether it's the admission time, whether it's classes, whether it's placement, internship. I think alumni is a phone call away, and there is so much feeling about the fellow feeling between the alumni that they also want to come for the institute. I think one of the ways which we have understood long back was bringing that experience back to the institution, and that is how we have created a lot of connects. It's not only the alumni meets where we do some connect activities with them, but I think there's a systematic approach in terms of bringing them back to the campus, getting them what they've been doing. In fact, our alumni mentoring is a very, very strong proposition which we come back to the student. Personally, all of us, I think we are all our students who have passed out from our institutions are wanting to contribute a lot, and this is a huge number in terms of both the sectoral diversity. Like today, you look at any sector, anything you would have, whether I talk about pharmaceutical, whether I talk about the consumer goods, financial services, consumer durable. Not only that, I think this has also given us a geographical spread. Like I remember going to maybe places across the world, and the very first thing where we go is who are our alumni, and irrespective, it becomes like which campuses they have passed out. I think I'm just all of us just need who are the alumni who have passed out our programs. And I think I remember we going to South Africa, Australia, or US. Just we'll find out from our database. We have very systematic database, which is a body called IBS Alumni Federation, which is there. And we can just at a click of the portal, we're able to get them. And we've been organizing a lot of alumni activities. We've done it in Dubai, we've done in South Africa, we've done in Europe, we've done in Australia. So these are the kind of things bring in. Now, what we've realized is so much. I think many of the institutions today are missing out on that potential. And I think we are the institution which has been able to systematically build up. It's not only that we are taking up from them always. I think there's a lot of value going from the institution. That's what we always say, that we are not an institution which is going to add value only the 2 years you're going to study. Today, many of our alumni come back to us in terms of their career advancement, the kind of courses they want to do. They come back to us for writing recommendations to the higher studies they want to do. I think that is also one of the, so I remember like one of my student was going, was a 97 batch, and he wanted to do a leadership program. So he come back to us and we are helping out. I think this has been happening across. So it's a very symbiotic relationship in terms of giving back both, and they see a value, our students see a value, and that has been a very, very strong component. And today I can tell you, the greater institutions of the best institutions of the world, like Harvard Business School, today it's a 100 years old institution that is known by the alumni. You look at the IIMs which are there, they are known by alumni. And I think today the industry recognizes that strength of us. So I think alumni has been very, very profound. And that is a confidence when a student joins us. You know, when they see across while we do, many of you would see while you come for the second phase of the admission process, you would see our alumni addressing you in terms of the admission process itself. I think that is something which is very, very dear to all of us. And we are going to be, I think our faculty has been interfacing with them. We have institutional mechanism in terms of making them to connect and, you know, maintain the continuous flow of exchange. That's
Perfect.
what, yeah.
Yeah. Prabha, you want to take up the student questions, please?
I'll take
Yeah,
that.
Shubhangi. Yeah.
So some of the students have asked some questions. One question is if there is 100% placement at IBS.
Dr. Sharma, would you want to take up the question?
Yeah. Well, I will not say that there is 100% placement, you know, at IBS. We have a close to 97% placement. And what happens to the other 3%? Many of them join their family businesses. Some of them opt for setting up their own businesses and so on. But yes, definitely, approximately 95 to 97% of our students get placed. Even at this stage, today is 11th of December. Most of the IBS campuses have already reached a level of more than 85% of placement. And our target is that by end of December, approximately all campuses should achieve 90%. And then there are some students who are left. But let me tell you, anybody and everybody who joins IBS, unless he voluntarily opts out of placement, will leave the campus with an offer of appointment. So whether it is in the month of January or February, there will not be a case where a student leaves the campus without a job in the hand. So that is the kind of assurance I have been giving as a senior director of IBS Gurgaon. I am sure Dr. Pritee Saxena, you may like to add something. You have a much larger campus. So please share your experience.
And Dr. Pritee Saxena, if you don't mind also telling the student of the kind of average salary that they have and the kind of companies that come for placement along with this, please.
Yeah. So, it's a very, very structured process. So the moment the student takes admission into an IBS system, we start tracking the performance of every single individual. And this I'm talking on behalf of all the campuses, because these are our processes. These are our processes which take care that not a single student should be left out, missed out in terms of creating a job opportunity. I will tell you about the averages, but before that, I want to share with you that how does this 90%, 95%, 98% record that all campuses maintain? This is one of those appraisal items in the employee performance of all IBS, whether it is the faculty or it is the staff or it is, that what kind of support the way academics lend to the placement team in preparing students for employment. So the way all the faculty members are trained and prepared, and they are a part of the placement team, whether they interact with companies or they sit in the pre-placement talks, they understand the job roles, the way they map it with the syllabus. That is very important, that you pick up a job role, you map it with the syllabus, and you start preparing students for those placements. And that is why the average CTC and the highest CTC this year, there are at least 10 students who have got placed on a CTC of more than 54 lakhs. And these are our international placements across Hyderabad, Pune, and the average salaries across all campuses this year has been around 8 lakhs. The companies have definitely increased their CTCs, and IBS has got the advantage of that. And where last year, we were around 6.5 to 7.2. This year, most of the campuses are ranging around 8 lakhs. This I'm talking of average. Highest CTCs domestic has been around 22 lakhs. There are students in HR who have got CTCs of that kind. The way, the HR students picked up by DBS or picked up by, by some of the startups, and the kind of money that has been offered even to an HR profile is commendable. And I would like to say that, the highest CTCs domestic has been about 27 lakhs also.
Perfect. Shubhangi, any question? Next
Yes,
question
sir.
from the student, please.
So
Yes.
there's a student, Shrestha Sameha. You can go ahead and ask a question.
Shrestha, आप पूछिएगा.
Shrestha, I've given you the unmuting access. Please
E-
unmute yourself.
Good evening to all sir and madam. I'm father of Sresha Samiha. Is it
Yeah,
audible
please go
to
on.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're audible,
Yeah.
Shrestha. Please
At
go ahead.
present, she is studying in Geetam University in BSc Biotechnology.
Mhm.
Is she eligible to join in your institute in MBA HR?
Dr. Sharma,
Yeah.
would you want to take it up?
Yeah. Well, the eligibility criteria for joining IBS is that the student must have 50% marks at the graduation level. And after that, there is a process. The process, Jatin Tandon is the best to explain. It consists of IBS admission test, followed by selection process at Hyderabad for group discussion and personal interview. So in all, if you have 50% marks, that is very important. Below 50%, we do not permit. And one more thing I want to put across to the students, we are not looking for the very best of the country. Very best is the brightest and the brilliant students. We have the capability of converting an average student who has got at least 50% marks and is developable. We will invest in him in terms of time, efforts, skills, perspectives, language, communication, computation, your knowledge of computers and Excel and analytics and all. Everything we can try. But 50% marks is the minimum that the student should enter with at the time of admission. Yes, one more thing is there. Supposing you are writing the exam and your results have not been declared, doesn't matter. We will allow you to pass through. Pass through means to process or to undertake the selection process at Hyderabad, provided you produce that certificate within, say, next few weeks or maybe 1 or 2 more months. We try to accommodate as far as possible, but at the end of the day, minimum of 50% marks eligibility is a must. Apart from the entire selection process of group discussion, personal interview, and the merit list which gets prepared.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. I think I'll just pause you here. I'm sorry. Priya, I'll come back to you with your question. Just give me 2 minutes. Jatin, would you mind now? I think now is the right time because Dr. Sharma talked of IBSAT. Can you just tell the student what IBSAT is and how it works out?
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So IBSAT is a national examination, ICFAI Business School Aptitude Test. This is scheduled on 24th and 25th of December this year. It is a remote online proctored examination which all the students can take from their houses. It is a 2 hours examination with 4 sections. 4 sections are having 140 questions, and these 4 sections are VA, your reading comprehension, your quantitative aptitude, and the fourth one is the DA and AI. All these 4 sections are having a total 140 questions, 120 minutes. No negative marking is the pattern for us. That is making us a very unique examination. And once this is completed, you will be getting the results in the first week of January. And post which there will be a selection briefing where all the students and their parents will be called for around an hour or so in around 60 cities of the country to clear all your doubts, whatever you are having at that point of time. This is scheduled from 7th of January till 15th of January. These are termed as selection briefings. And after which all the students who have been selected in the first phase are called for the selection process. This selection process is scheduled in a physical mode this year, and it is scheduled in Hyderabad. During the February and March month, the dates will be communicated once the results are announced. So this is the process of IBSAT, and IBSAT, obviously all of you would be knowing, is among the top 5 national examinations. It is taken by around 30,000 students across the country, out of which around 15,000 attend the process at Hyderabad, and around 4,500 students are studying in 9 IBS campuses. So the probability of getting into any of the IBS campus through IBSAT is 1 is to approximately 6. That is the process for IBSAT, sir.
Thank you so much, Jatin, for that. I think that clears a lot of things. Otherwise, the questions will keep coming on those things also, right?
Yeah.
So one question as supplementary for this, Jatin,
Yeah.
because you take students from CAT and NMAT also, is there any preference or a choice that you make of how many students come from IBSAT and how many come from CAT or NMAT kind of a thing?
No, certainly not. This is one of the additional routes which we have given to the students. Supposing almost 90% of our students come through the IBSAT examination.
Okay.
Remaining 10%, we have given 4 other examinations as the choices to the student. One is obviously NMAT. NMAT by GMAT, we are a partnered university and an institution there. Second one is the CAT score. Third one is ZAT this year. And fourth one is the GMAT. So around in the NMAT, we are taking 150 plus score. Through CAT, we are taking 60 percentile and above. Through ZAT, we are taking 60 percentile and above. And for GMAT, we are taking 550 and above. So all these scores are the eligibility criteria. If you are having that, you can go directly for the second phase, the selection process, while applying through these scores. But there is a very unique feature which has been introduced last year, and this year we have built on that, is the scholarship program. And this scholarship program makes IBSAT a little more preferable examination to the students, because the highest number of scholarships this year are being announced on the IBSAT examination. And these scholarships are to the tune of 10 crores, 2 lakh rupees each, 500 scholarships. And 200 scholarships are given on the basis of the IBSAT examination. And NMAT is having around 100. CAT is having 75 scholarships. Then we are having ZAT and GMAT around 25 scholarships each. Apart from that, there are 3 more categories, which is the CA, CS, ICWA, and CFA. If they are completing by December 2022, around 25 students are getting that 2 lakh rupees scholarship. Alumni award we have introduced this year because now we are a 27-year-old institution. So the first batch which graduated in 1997, obviously their awards would be in a position to get into any of the B schools now. So we have introduced in this year the Alumni Award Scholarship, 25 scholarships for the Alumni Awards. And the defense personnel awards, retired or in service, whosoever they are, around 15 scholarships for them, 2 lakh rupees each. And the last one is for the physically challenged students, around 10 scholarships. So this makes it to 500 scholarships, 2 lakh each. All these scholarships will be given in the first and the second installments, 1 lakh rupees each. There is no further rider to that. So that is about scholarship and the IBSAT process.
Perfect. Thanks so much for that, Jatin. Priya, would you want to ask a question now? Because the question was asked by Rashmi. The question I asked you about the NMAT and all, it was question by Rashmi. Rashmi, I hope I've got your answers from Jatin about whatever you asked for.
I would like to add a point here. If
Yeah.
supposing the students are willing to apply through NMAT, and if they are having around a 225 plus, because the scholarship eligibility is different and the eligibility to apply for IBS is different. Obviously, the scholarship eligibility is a little higher. I'll just clarify on that. For the CAT scores for the scholarships, we are taking 90 percentile. For ZAT, we are taking 80 percentile. For NMAT, we are taking 225 and above, that is 225 and above. For GMAT, it is 550 and above. And for IBSAT, it is a qualifying. We'll give the top 200 ranks the scholarship. So that makes IBSAT a little more preferable, as I was saying, that getting a scholarship through IBSAT becomes a little more easier compared to the other 4 options. So go for IBSAT in that case.
Yeah. Priya, you want to ask a question? Priya Bakshi.
Mahesh, in the meantime, there is one question in the chat.
Yes,
Somebody wanted to know what is
No,
the
one moment. Priya
NMAT
is asking. One moment. Priya is asking the question. Priya, unmute yourself and ask the question, please.
Sir, I think she lowered her hand, so maybe her question was answered by Jatin sir.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Prabha,
my
go on.
question to you is, what is the fee structure of IBS?
Can I take that, sir?
Yeah, please take it.
So we have got 4 fee structures at IBS campuses. It starts from 6,03,000 at Dehradun and Jaipur for 2 years. That is around 3 lakh per year. Then we have got our PGPM campuses. 5 of them are having a fee structure of 9,09,000. That is around 4.5 lakh per year. These campuses are Ahmedabad, Gurgaon, Kolkata, Mumbai, and Pune. Then we have got our off-campus of IFHE, that is Bangalore. This is having a fee structure of 12,06,000 for 2 years. That is around 6,000 per year, 6 lakhs per year. And we are having a fee structure of 16,02,000 for IBS Hyderabad. That is around 8 lakh per annum. And all these different fee structures are just because the operational costs in different campuses are a little different. Otherwise, there is no set reason why there is a difference of cost.
Thank you, sir. Another question is, so which location is best for the course of HR?
I think Dr. Ranga, you must take this question.
Yeah, I think our placements for whether it's marketing, finance, HR, all the campuses have been similar. And as said earlier, all these campuses are chosen very carefully where the industry presence is there. And we have seen students graduating from various specialization. So I would not say, and we've kept a balance in terms of our faculty, whether it's HR, finance, marketing, operations, at all these locations, and the kind of industry connect. So as such, there will not be any preference in terms of location. It absolutely depends on your convenience. I think the best way to decide a location is in consultation with your parents, because that's most important, how geographically you are placed, how much you're it's always a good idea to economize on your travels and being near to your hometown. I think, and we are present pan India, so I think that should not make a difference. And I think our reach to the industry is doesn't matter in terms of you would see a set of recruiters which are going to almost all the campuses. You also have in terms of recruiters which are coming that cluster specific, that area like Bangalore would have a lot of things in IT, Pune manufacturing, the western region again in a lot of financial services. You see the northern NCR region, a lot of new age services. So I think that regional flavor also happens, but I think no specific. I think that purely depends. I think today it makes important for students also to talk to their parents in terms of the job. It's no point in just moving out across your places. I think do that. I can assure that every campus would remain same when they're looking at HR. And I think one of the things, Mr. Maheshwar, I would like to mention that students come with a lot of mindset in terms of, they would specialize for marketing, they would go for finance, they would go for HR. I think a lot of handholding, a lot of information is been done in the semester 1 and 2 to help them what is that fitment lies. I think that happens. So I think I would suggest all the students come with a very open mind. You might come to us while thinking that you would specialize in HR, but it might happen that you discover that you are a man of finance, and your self-discovery may happen. And I think that very profound is been built up by design with the institution. So I think first and second semester are really eye openers while you come to us. So please come up to us with a very, very open mind. Yeah.
Brinda, your question, please unmute yourself. Brinda. Brinda, unmute yourself. Shubhangi, एक बार Brinda को unmute करना,
हाँ
please.
जी, मैंने कर दिया सर, she has to.
Yeah, Brinda. Brinda, ask your question. Brinda, you can ask a question.
Brinda, you were unmuted. Please ask your question. Sir, in the meantime, another
Okay,
student.
I'll just ask one question to Dr. Sharma. Dr. Sharma, this is important because see, ICFAI started as a financial education group in a certain sense. So there's always a perception built in that a lot more financial companies and equity analysts and consulting companies and all come for placement. So would you mind telling the students the kind of companies and the kind of roles that are predominantly coming over to the IBS campuses for recruitment?
Surely, sir. Well, friends, what Mr. Perry has said is absolutely right. ICFAI is known for its strengths and specialization in the field of finance. And today, as I said, there are approximately 300 companies which come for summer internship, and 300 companies also come for placement. And all these 300 companies represent different sectors. But in the field of finance, I have seen that first of all, the big five are there. The KPMG and BlackRock and Deloitte and Ernst & Young. Goldman Sachs is coming, and apart from that, eValueServe, and all kind of banks are there, starting with HDFC to Axis Bank to Citibank to you can't imagine, there hardly any bank which is not there. Then many non-bank financial institutions, merchant banks, they are there, investment banks are there. So I will say the finance companies can be classified into, there are some jobs which are in the area of research and consultancy. Second set of jobs are in the area of security analysis and stock market developments and investment banks, etc. And the third set of jobs are meant for the basic hardcore banking operations. Then you have the capital market, money market intervention. So all these kind of opportunities are available. And all IBS campuses are doing exceedingly well when it comes to placement in the field of finance, money market, capital market, banks and non-bank financial institutions, both multinationals and our domestic companies.
Yeah, perfect. That's good enough, sir. Shubhangi, you are asking a question from the student.
Yes, sir. So someone has asked if the finance or digital marketing course is good for their career.
So, sir, I think the relevant question here is, within marketing, are there any specializations that you offer, which is digital marketing, normal marketing, event marketing? There are multiple B schools also that have been formed to cater to the certain kind of specialization, which is too niche, too sharp segmentation. But yes.
Yeah, I think what you are saying is absolutely right. We have these specializations. It would be, I would say, more useful if Dr. Pritee Saxena, who is also teaching marketing, she is also handling placement, she comes out with the kind of specializations we have.
Ma'am, over to you, ma'am. This is your playground then.
Yeah. So, though we offer 4 major specializations, which is in finance, marketing, HR, IT, and operations, but the kind of electives that are offered in practically all these, if you look at these, the faculty, 4 faculty that I've mentioned, there are a minimum of about 25 to 28 different electives that the students can choose. So the kind of combinations that they can make depending on what kind of career opportunities they're looking at. So if it is digital marketing, yes, there is an elective in digital marketing, but along with digital marketing, you are also required to take something more in terms of advertising and communication, or you are required to take something called as integrated marketing communication, or you may be wanting to take something called as client servicing. And when the students get, a complete package that, that could help them get into digital marketing, or that can help them in getting into any other marketing career. So the choice of electives helps the student prepare themselves for specific roles, whether it is in digital marketing or it is in any other marketing careers that they are looking at.
Yeah. Ma'am, there is a question from Meghna.
Mhm.
She's talking of what are the newest specializations, especially to do with data sciences that you
Right.
have, which because the student is actually doing a BTech in data sciences or that space.
Yeah.
I think that's what I gather from her. So,
Right.
is there anything that you suggest for people who are interested in data sciences to be an MBA specialization within the school?
Yeah. Yeah. So see, one thing I want to tell all the students, management gives you that kind of flexibility. For any, the management education draws from all specialization. Like there was a question from, the gentleman asking whether the daughter can get into, with biotechnology as her background. Can she get into it? So even, the students who are doing their engineering in data science, the kind of sector that is opening, I would call, analytics in all fields is required. So if somebody is taking finance, IBS has, the way they have structured their courses, you have something called as business analytics that starts from semester 1. So you have business analytics 1, business analytics 2. The emphasis on analytics is very high. The emphasis on IT, which is getting, inducted into everything, whether you get into HR or you get into finance or you get into marketing. Today, IT and software kind of roles are sector agnostic. And if she wants to know that, yes, with her data science kind of knowledge and her specialization, she can definitely be looking at profiles that are being offered by the consulting firms as analysts to start with. Some may even offer as associates, and IBS trains students on combination of IT and analytics.
Yeah.
If I may just add one or two sentences.
Please, sir, please.
The subjects that we are teaching at present, the new subjects, as you said, one is the data warehousing, data mining, business intelligence, advanced business analytics, big data analytics, financial business analytics, marketing business analytics. Apart from that, we have introduced a paper from this year, that is the integrated business process engineering, you see. So, which is a redefined portion of the enterprise resource planning, ERP, as it used to be in the past. So these are some of the new subjects which have been introduced, and plenty of opportunities are available for the students to develop expertise in the field of data science.
Perfect. Subodh, unmute yourself and ask a question, Subodh. Subodh Jaiswal.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is regarding specialization. Sir, I am pretty confused about which specialization to take, marketing or finance. I am from BCom background. I stay in Kolkata.
Yeah. So can I take that?
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Yeah. So Subodh, you definitely has, as I said, the flexibility that MBA offers. In the first year, the 2 semester, which are called as the common for all, whichever background that you come from, you mentioned that you have a commerce background. You will have sufficient time and guidance coming from the faculty members in terms of choosing your electives, choosing your specialization. Also, your internship will give you, the kind of direction into, what you want to do. So internship, first semester, second semester, interaction with faculty, interaction with your seniors, interaction with alumni is going to, all this put together, you will be able to make a very informed decision in terms of what specialization to go for. As Dr. Vivek Ranga said, come with an open mind and explore for yourself, discover what is best for you. Look at your scores in the first semester and the second semester, where you are doing well, the kind of opportunities that come your way when you are doing your internship, And based on that, you decide on your specialization, consult your faculty members. Everybody is very keen to know what kind of rankings, but I want to tell you that, you should be looking at, when you are choosing a B school, also look at the kind of faculty student interaction. What is the kind of faculty student interaction? And this is somewhere, we at IBS attach a lot of emphasis and importance. The time in every week, we have kept a special 2 to 3 hours every week where we call as open house, and the students can go and reach out to their mentors which are assigned to them, and then decide on what kind of electives to choose, what internships to choose, or what kind of specializations to choose. So you should be looking at, when you're looking at a B school, what is the level of faculty student interaction in the B school that you're opting for.
Dr.
Yeah.
Sharma, I think I'm recasting 3 questions that have come from Prashant, Hari, and Ishwar. And this is all to do with, the perception of the students is that they must select what specialization they'll do when they enter. So can you just tell the student how the process works, how the selectives are chosen, how they ultimately choose what they want to be? Because some might be very uncertain at the beginning, but later they might actually, as someone said, that you might come for marketing but end up doing finance. So can you just tell the process of how it offers greater flexibility for the student to choose their calling as they move along?
Thank you, sir. Well, my dear students, today is 11th. On 19th of this month, I am going to brief the students as to how should they, I'm talking of the current batch of students who are with me at Gurgaon. So we means almost all faculty members are going to be a part of this process. So we will tell them, look, gentlemen, you have to see your own areas of strength and your interest areas. And apart from that, these are the kind of opportunities of placement, etc. So generally, the students have to see whether they are good at numbers. If they are good at numbers, obviously they should go for finance. In case you are a big...
One moment, sir. I'm sorry. I understand that piece. What I'm trying to understand is the process that IBS has of when do they actually end up, pinpointing saying, now I have to choose my selective. Is it after 6 months, after 1 year, after 3 months?
That is what I was suggesting, sir, on 19th of this month. This month means 19th of December, the students will be initiated into this discussion.
After how many months?
So they joined in the month of May, 15th May they joined. Yeah. So after 6 months of orientation, they will choose. And based on that, we will do the planning for faculty, etc. But at the same time, the students have option to revise or change their electives. Again, when they return in the month of May or June, first week of June 2023, after completing their summer internship. Because at this stage, students are not as well informed. It is only after they have gone to the industry, they have interacted with their colleagues, networked with their seniors, superiors, and all that, that they come with a revised assessment. So we give them opportunity to make changes. And students keep on exercising this opportunity of undertaking changes, which goes on right up to, I will say, June, July 2023. It is only after the trial and error. Sometimes students even attend the classes of a particular elective. And then they say, no, sir, this is not meant for me. I want to undergo a change. So this process of initiation into electives will start from December 2022 for the current batch, and it will culminate sometime in June end or July middle of 2023.
So students, just to put things in perspective of what Dr. Sharma said, you have first 6 months to decide which elective or specialization that you'll go for. And after the summer internship also, you can again come back and revise your original thought process. So you actually have 1 year before you actually jump onto a specialization or a major. So you shouldn't be worried about your pathway. The school definitely gives you the flexibility to exercise your options, learn what interests you, what doesn't interest you, what scares you, what doesn't scare you also at times. But there is enough space up to 1 year before you say, now this is my pathway. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir. You are right, sir. One more sentence. Students can opt for core specialization, which means all the 8 electives during semester 3 and 4 would come from one particular subject, say finance, marketing, or HR, or IT, etc. And another is you can have a combination of major and minor. So you can have 6 majors and 2 minors in HR. So it all, I mean, there are lots and lots of options available to these students, and they keep on exercising these options and undertake changes. The idea is we should not do anything which is not in line with the thought process and interest areas of the student. That is most important.
Absolutely.
IBS is student-centric at every stage of its planning and implementation, sir.
Perfect, perfect, sir. Faizan, over to you. Unmute yourself and Shubhangi, unmute Faizan, please.
Yes, sir, I have.
Faizan, push
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, good evening. Actually, I have two doubts regarding. First was regarding specialization. Specialization, it was clear. Next, regarding I actually come from engineering background, so I'm looking for doing an MBA. I will be graduated in the year 2024. So when should I give the exam? Regarding.
So next December होगा आपका Faizan इसका. I think that's answered now. So I'll not extend this question beyond a point. But ये ना आपका जो 2023 में ज्वाइन करने वाले हैं वो अभी एग्जाम दे रहे हैं दिसंबर में. 2024 में जो करने वाले हैं वो दिसंबर 2023 में आप एग्जाम दोगे फैजान. ठीक है? Okay. Shiva, unmute yourself please and ask a question. Shiva.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Shiva.
My name is Shiva.
Yeah, Shiva. Go on.
Sir, I completed my pharmacy in 2022.
Okay.
So I checked in your ICFAI website, sir. You are offering MBA in healthcare management. So I want to know more about it, sir, and the faculty related to healthcare management.
Yes, I think it's a very important question. Can someone take it up, please?
Yeah, Shiva, can I take this?
Yeah, please, sir. Please, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Shiva, what we do is like we do get a lot of pharmaceutical students. We also get from the health sector like biotech groups or BSc physiotherapy and all those kind of things. We look at the healthcare and the pharmaceutical sectors. Now, typically the students who are opting for MBA marketing, these are the students who would we would find jobs in terms of the healthcare sector. Now, let me tell you examples. Like we had a lot of B Farm, and the place where I am from Ahmedabad, like it has a lot of pharmaceutical. You would have, and the kind of opportunities which are there in pharmaceutical sector, somebody coming from B Farm lies in multiple areas. One is in purely in marketing, in terms of where you get into the business development side. You also have something like in the product management side, where you get into with the product management team in the pharmaceutical companies, which is which are there. And and I think COVID has given a lot of revenue build up for a lot of pharmaceutical companies. But there's another sector in B Farms are hired by healthcare and the pharmaceutical companies is the IPR related, because most of these pharmaceutical companies have lot of business dependence on US, because US they're compliant with the US FDA regulations and all, and that's why we get those are the kind of jobs also we get in IPR segment. So again, our MBA marketing students would typically get into pharmaceutical. And one thing which COVID has taught us, I think a lot of investment has been going from in terms of pharmaceutical, healthcare, and the entire healthcare sector is getting professionalized in terms of hospital, in terms of the pathological labs, and a lot of allied sector is also, the para healthcare sector is also opening up. So I think it's a good combination, and I must say that you should really look at, because you are already aware of the processes. You need some managerial inputs in terms of how the business things are done. I think there's a lot of it's in a lot of demand. Yeah.
And just to add to what Professor Ranga said, Shiva, I'll also add that MBA or any, for that matter, any career pathway in healthcare and hospital administration and those kind of spaces is going to be the future moving forward, because a lot more investments are happening from nations and from people on healthcare. We now have realized post-COVID that healthcare is the most important thing. Whatever happens, everything can stay, but your health is very important. So you actually see governments and nations and people also increasing their spend on healthcare. So it's a very good pathway to choose. Just an overarching feeling from my side.
Mr. Perry, just wanted to add one
Please,
thing
sir.
while we were talking on the specialization. I
Madhya
think,
ఉంది కదా.
yeah,
Prabha, mute.
Yeah, sorry.
Carry on, please.
we were talking about the specialization. I think our alumni connect while the students are there in the first semester and second semester helps them a lot in deciding about what kind of specialization they should choose, what is the kind of internship they should look at, and what is the kind of career pathway that should happen. I think today these kind of efforts actually result out these placements. And one thing which I would want to mention, whatever we see the placement participation of the company or the placement statistics, that is a very systematic integrated efforts in terms of choosing specialization, choosing internships, and choosing the career pathway. I think alumni helps a lot because they know they are the success stories, and they come to the campus, they tell, I choose this specialization, I choose this elective, and that was the kind of pathway I did. So this really helps them.
Perfect. Brinda, you're unmuted. Can you ask a question, please?
Good evening, everyone. Sir, I had the query related to the admission form process. I have given my NMAT exam this year, and it's under the eligibility criteria. But while filling the form for the college, it's asking me to fill for IBSAT exam. So, is that compulsory? How do we proceed further?
Jatin, can you take this?
Yeah. So hi, Brinda. Eligibility for NMAT is 150 scores. If you are having 150 and above, you are absolutely eligible to go for the second stage. But if you are having 225 and above, then you will be eligible for the scholarship through NMAT. So I don't know what is your score, but if you are having anything in between 150 to 224, I would request that you go for IBSAT. Any which way, even if you have applied through NMAT, you have to again fill the IBSAT application form, irrespective that you are writing or not. The application form for IBS has to be filled up.
Brinda, I'll also tell you again an overarching thing, please, and not just to confine to IBSAT. All of you must understand that the primary examination of an institution is the exam that the institution itself created for itself, right? Most scholarships favor students who take examinations of the institution itself. Not just here, anywhere you see this. When you take IBSAT, you are favored by Xavier's more for its own scholarships. They would not favor a CAT examinations taker, right? So my simple thing is, if you want to join IBSAT, yes, go through NMAT because that's one of the pathways. But if you want to avail the benefits of what IBSAT offers in terms of scholarships, in terms of preferences, in terms of choices, also please take IBSAT, because that will get you more options and hopefully more concessions also. Yeah.
So there is a point to be added here, sir. Like the students who are aiming to take IBSAT, we are having a very beautiful national mock test contest running. So that is making them prepare for IBSAT just to know the pattern. And obviously that is having with some monetary benefits, also some gift vouchers up to the extent of 10,000. So if you are visiting ibsindia.org, you can just see what is the pattern on IBSAT. You can go for the national mock test preparation there. And if you are having 225 and above, you will be eligible for NMAT scholarships. If top 100 students who submit their scores, the top 100 scores will be taken, minimum being 225. But if you are not willing to take that scholarship, then 150 is more than enough for you to take the selection process of IBS.
Sanjay Tyagi, unmute yourself, please. Shubhangi, Sanjay Tyagi को unmute करना.
Yes, sir.
हाँ सर, मेरी बेटी है इशिता, वो इस बार फाइनल में है, बीकॉम फाइनल, तो इसलिए वो चाहती है कि किस में एडमिशन ले। और मुझे एक चीज और पूछनी थी अपने के लिए कि पीजीडीएम और एमबीए में क्या कौन सा अच्छा है, और मतलब आज के टाइम पे क्या बेहतर है, खासकर गर्ल्स के लिए।
हाँ संजय जी, मैं ये बिकॉज आपने पीजीडीएम और एमबीए पूछा है तो मैं ये क्वेश्चन लूंगा, अपने आप लूंगा, ठीक है। देखिएगा, अगर आप 5 साल पहले देखोगे ना, तो टॉप 50 बी स्कूल देखोगे ना, ज्यादातर पीजीडीएम ही थे, क्योंकि आईएम पीजीडीएम देता है, एमडीए, आईएफटी, एमडीआई, माने यू टेक आईएमटी, ऑल दिस पीपल वर पीजीडीएम इंस्टीट्यूशंस। पीजीडीएम gave greater autonomy to the B school to decide its own curriculum, its own internship, its own module of teaching, and its own placement, everything. It gave greater autonomy, because of which PGDM was chosen. Between PGDM and MBA, at this point in time, there is not much of a difference, because IIMs are now a university by themselves. They're giving an MBA. Okay? तो आपको ना PGDM is equivalent to a master's program as far as what you call, there is an institution called Association of Indian Universities, AIU. वो AIU क्या करता है, वो they give a certificate of equivalence saying कि class 12th of this equal to class 12th of that, like like IB school curriculum है आपका. They said कि IB school curriculum is an international curriculum, but the student who passes through IB school curriculum is equivalent to a class 12 pass out for India, right? Similarly, PGDM is now considered equivalent to a master's thing. ये दोनों में फर्क नहीं है. Look at the institution, don't look at whether it's PGDM or MBA. Both are valid accreditations and qualifications which are equivalent to a master's program. You got my answer, Sanjay ji? Hello?
He's muted, I think.
Okay. So that's where I'll leave it. Ishwar, over to you. You can ask a question, please. Unmute yourself. Ishwar? Shubhangi, unmute Ishwar, please. Yeah, Ishwar, बताइएगा.
Yes, sir. Good evening. I just wanted to know how the university will assist with student loans, education loans.
Oh, brilliant question. Dr. Ranga, if you want to take this question, please.
Yeah, I would request Jatin if he can take that.
Yeah, Jatin,
he'll
take
be
this
the most appropriate
Yeah.
for this.
So, Ishwar, we are having tie-ups with a few of the NBFCs in the country, starting with Credila, which is a sister concern of HDFC. Then we are having it with Avance Services. There are around 14 to 15 nationalized banks also who are giving loans to IBS students. And all these banks are putting up their stalls once you are reaching Hyderabad for the selection process after you are clearing the phase 1. All these major banks are invited over there. They can you can meet them, your parents can meet them. They are giving in principle selection, the offer letter to you depending on the conversations you are having. And once you are coming back to your city, you can take that letter and you can reach the respective banks. And most of our students are taking bank loans. Apart from this, we are also having a financial aid cell, which is an in-house center for IBS, and where we are assisting you in getting the bank loans. And we are also giving some bridge loan facilities to the students. All these are indicated in the website. If you can visit ibsindia.org, you will get elaborated information. Otherwise, nearest information office we are having in 63 cities. All these are going to help you out.
Yeah.
This is
And
post your results, you will be utilizing this facility.
Okay. Ishwar, and for all of you who are looking at a financial loan facility, remember the first option you must do if you're looking at a concessional rate of loan is your own bank, because every bank is supposed to disperse certain amount of education loans and the rate of interest is very, very low. The moment you jump out of your bank, the interest rate is likely to be slightly higher. Not that it is bad, but it's likely to be slightly higher. So first exercise the loan that is possible that you can get from your own bank, because the bank knows you over ages, over decades, possibly because you had a banking relationship. So you don't need to explain yourself much. Your proper, your security, all those things are taken care of, because that is possibly a lower interest rate as compared to anyone else. Just an overarching thing. That's important for me to say as a counselor, Jatin. So I'm sorry.
Yes. And there is a lot of competition in this space. So you, as a aware student, can get a very good rate of interest if you are visiting maybe 2-3 banks, and you can negotiate there. So that is what Sir Perry sir is saying is absolutely correct.
Yeah. Snehanshu, unmute yourself, please. Snehanshu? I think he's gone. Yeah. Okay. Bharat, unmute yourself, please. शुभांगी, भरत को अनम्यूट करना.
सर कर दिया मैंने.
वो अनम्यूट नहीं किया है बच्चे ने.
So they have to accept also.
Yeah. हाँ, भरत. Yeah.
Sir, good evening.
Yeah.
Sir, how much I have to score in IBSAT if I have to eligible for scholarship?
So Bharat, this is eligibility will be decided once the IBSAT examination is over. Once all the 30,000 students write IBSAT, and out of which maybe a 10% is through CAT and other examinations which I have mentioned. Remaining students, we will see what is the cutoff we are deciding, and it will be disclosed once the offer letter is sent to you, and accordingly you will be getting the scores. We do not disclose scores for IBSAT.
But what was it last year, if you don't mind telling us?
That is not disclosed. It is not disclosed.
Perfect. Fair enough. Saurav, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Saurav.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
My question is that if the average package of the Mumbai campus is 7.14 lakh, is it combined by all the course specialization? And if I wanted to know about the average package and the strength of PGPM in finance for Mumbai, would you please tell me?
Dr.
Yeah.
Pritee Saxena?
Yeah. The average package last year was 7.51. This year we have crossed that. And when I'm saying average, it is for all specializations. If you want to know for finance, it would be slightly higher. So for finance, it could even be 8.10.
Typically, guys, for finance, the average package is slightly higher across the board, across institutions. And then you get it to marketing or HR, depending on which institution you're talking of, based on specialization. But finance is typically higher.
Right.
Yeah. Snehanshu, unmute yourself, please. Snehanshu, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hi. I have only one question.
Yeah.
So after completion of PGDM, suppose I would like to go for the PhD and other things.
Yeah.
Is it possible or?
Yeah, it is possible, Snehanshu. Again, as I said, PGDM is equivalent to a master's program under the AIU, which is Association of Indian Universities, had said that a PGDM is equivalent to a master's program, right?
Okay.
So it's because, and that is the reason why AICTE steps in. The PGDM is allowed by AICTE, and AICTE has got this permission that a PGDM is equivalent to a master's program. If you have any specific questions, Snehanshu, please write to me, mahesh@careers360.com, and I'll have someone respond to you personally also. No issues.
Okay, thank you.
Can I take a minute and add on to this, Perry?
Yeah, please, Jatin. Yeah, please.
So, Srianshu, I think you are asking specifically for the PGPM programs of IBS.
No, he's talking about PGDM. बोला है उसने, Jatin, उसलिए मैं बोला है. PGPM I would have dealt with separately, actually. Am I right, Snehanshu? आपने PGDM बोला है, PGPM बोला है आपने? Snehanshu?
You can unmute, Shubhangi, you can unmute.
Yeah. Hello. Actually, I was asking about, that was the right thing.
Which is
PGPM.
Yeah. PGPM, Jatin, आपको answer करना पड़ेगा.
Okay, so PGPM, Shrianshu, there are three terminologies. Two of them Mahesh sir has already told. One is MBA given by universities, which are coming under UGC. Second is PGDM coming under the AICTE umbrella. Third one is the autonomous colleges, which are giving PGPM, like 5 of our campuses. All these three, as on date, are having no differences in the mind of the industry. As you can see, the kind of placements which we are getting, 53 lakhs plus from Pune, Mumbai, and 53 lakhs plus from Hyderabad. This year, in the current batch 2023 class, we are having 56 lakhs plus placement from Hyderabad and Pune both. So that means industry is not differentiating. For your specific question, I want to go for a PhD. In our 5 IBS campuses, we have created one online MBA program along with the PGPM. Once you are enrolling for the PGPM program, you can also enroll for the online MBA given by IBS Hyderabad or the IFHE campus. This is having the similar curriculum. Only the exams will be online, which is never going to be clashing with the main exams of PGPM campus. Once you are completing it, using that degree, the MBA degree online one, you can apply for PhD. And otherwise, if you are only willing for a corporate career, PGPM is as good as a PGDM and as good as an MBA in the mind of the industry.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Again, Snehanshu, I think that's a very important intervention that Jatin made. Thanks, Jatin, for that. I was always in the PGDM mode. Snehanshu, PGPM is not an accredited qualification for legal purposes, for PhD purposes, which is where you have to do an online MBA along with it, which is exactly the same curriculum. It's just that you're giving one more examination based on the same curriculum. There is nothing that is different. And the degree will come to you from IFHE Hyderabad, which is the IBS University. Right. So, but across the board, if anyone is offering you PGPM, it is a qualification meant to place you and get you a good job, and the industry doesn't differentiate. But for academic purposes, it's different.
Okay. So if I do PGDM, I am eligible to do the PhD.
Absolutely.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Saurav, unmute yourself.
Yeah, my last question is that what is the benchmark for a company established by your college and the lowest package offered to a finance student in this year? Thank you.
I think Professor Ranga, you can take this question.
Yeah. Company established.
No, I think that's a just look at the question in terms of the lowest package for students of finance, ma'am.
So it has been about 6.5 lakhs, the lowest this year for finance.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I think what I'll do is, ma'am, I'll try to wrap it up because the questions keep coming in otherwise. Overarching, Dr. Ranga, would you mind telling the student why they must prefer IBS Hyderabad and what it entails in terms of their future, and not just for the next 2 years or placement and all, but over the next 40 years of their career?
Yeah, I think one of the very important is being a 27-year-old institution. I think we have seen series of economic cycles, and I think that has given a lot of inputs to our curriculum. In fact, we have been very, very receptive to the kind of changes happening, like I would say the analytics, the digital marketing, and the kind of courses finding in our business schools last 7-8 years. So I think that has been we've been very. You talk about a development happening in the industry. We have been there. I think we did retail management long back around 2004-5. We started something like courses on financial derivatives, commodities, mutual funds, very, very early part of the 2001 and 2002. So I think that is where we see first and foremost is the very fast receptive in terms of the industry thing which we got to get. Second is I think the network plays a very important role. Like when you get out, I think many of the institutions would actually give you all this kind of in terms of the learning would happen, but I think in the professional career, once you're there, networking helps you a lot. So I think you would be able to be a part of that network. That is going to be really, really a thing. Third is we have always felt that it's not having a very contemporary syllabus. The academic rigor to be maintained, the quality of the academic delivery is the rigor which we maintain. I think that is another way where we, it's if you technically look at a management course, it's almost lesser than 2 years. It's around 18, 19 months, in which we compress and we bring in a lot of electives, a lot of subjects, a lot of value addition. In fact, one of the very differentiator is the peer learning at the campus and the kind of club activities which we do in terms of all the students being there. I think that is the kind of differentiator. What I would say is the delta when you're joining the institution and when you're coming out of the institution, you will feel a lot of transformation happening in terms of your knowledge addition, your ability in terms of articulation, your confidence, your skill development. I think this knowledge, attitude, and skill is something which I leave, and that additional delta would happen in terms of is phenomenal. And you would experience that transition happening, from a student, because many of our students come fresher, and while they graduate, they're ready, and that is the why you would see the industry coming and recruiting us, because our students, when they go and they join the companies, they're more realistically aligned. And I think that is our fantastic job our faculty does in terms of doing this. So I think that's the reason. These are three reasons I would say: the knowledge, attitude build up, and the skill development happening at the institution goes a long way, and it actually makes you survive. I think it's very important that we keep in time in terms of the kind of skill upgradation. That's what my submission. Yeah.
Jatin, would you want to wrap it up as far as IBSAT is concerned?
Yeah, certainly. Yes, sir. So very quickly, the CAT exam is over now for the students. All of you are also having the tentative scores, which have been officially released by IIM. The NMAT exam is concluding on 19th of this month. SNAP first set is already over yesterday. ZAT is scheduled on 8th of January. We are among the top 5 examination. IBSAT is taken by 30,000 students approximately. And here, the very important point here is the return on investment which you are getting in an institution which is having 4,500 seat is ranging between a 6 lakh average package to a 8.71 lakh average package. This is the 2022 placement I'm talking. 23 is even better, going even better. So IBSAT is an examination which should be taken by the students who are aiming for the top 25,000 seats in the country. These 25,000 seats are maybe a 5,500 with all 20 IMs combined, remaining the set of institutions under the Narsimonji set of institution under Symbiosis, set of institution under IMTs or MDIs and other autonomous institutions. And almost 4,500 seats are clubbed in 9 IBS campuses. So if you are getting into these top 25,000 seats, I'm sure you are getting to a desired a salary bracket after 2 years from your joining date. and IBSAT is a route to that. IBSAT is one of the routes to that. The kind of gettability into IBSAT is a little more compared to other national examination. As I have said, the probability of getting selection, the kind of scholarship which IBS is offering is the highest in the country as of now. 10 crores of scholarship, none other institution is, as far as my knowledge goes, is offering. So you are there to grab it. It is available for 500 students. The selection process is a very, very known and tested process. It is at Hyderabad this year. Till last 2 years, it was happening online. This year, it is a physical process happening in Hyderabad. You have to go there, attend for a GD and PI. You will get to know the college, you will get to know the faculties, you will meet the students and peers. And obviously, for any other information, we are having a very strong information office network across the country. And most of our information officers would be in touch with you, if not till now. You can visit in any of your cities, visit ibsindia.org, you'll get to know everything about it. I wish you all the best for your all your examinations, and would certainly like to see you in your best dream college, and one of those would be 9 IBS campuses. Anyone.
So I'll wrap it up with one last comment I would want to make. Whenever you're choosing a B school, look at the kind of accreditations that they have. The more reputable the accreditation is, the more comfortable you can feel, or more secure you can feel of having made the right choice. In this case, IBS is AACSB accredited and NAC accredited, so international and national. Then the legacy of the institution, 27 years old, it works because alumni is all over the place. You will find them anywhere that you go. The third thing is the kind of placement that they offer, and the placements are very, very strong out here, right? And then, as I keep saying, the kind of faculty that they have, the kind of rating and ranking they have. So somewhere along the line, I do think that for a good student, it has all the checkboxes ticked. The kind of internship that they offer, the kind of facilities that they offer, the kind of infrastructure that they offer. So make that as one of the options. I'm not suggesting for one moment that this is the place for each one of you. No, that might not be the case, but it will be the place for you for many of you. So just look at it from that perspective. Be objective. IBS should be one of the options that you must go for, and depending on the hierarchy of the kind of offers that you get from different B schools, you can exercise that. So that's where I will limit myself.
No, this is a stage, sir, where students have to create options for themselves.
Exactly.
They should not limit to the single option which they have created.
Absolutely, yeah.
And once that is created, obviously in the month of March, they can take the option of getting into a B school.
Absolutely.
And one more point, our Hyderabad is AACSB accredited and NAC A++, as you said, sir. I would like to congratulate all the people who have participated in that rankings.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Ranga, Dr. Pritee Saxena, Dr. Sharma. Thank you so much for joining in today. It was a pleasure talking to you as always, and I hope to interact with you soon on some other platform. Thank you.
Same here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, and all the best to the students.
Thanks, Chetan. Thank you so much.